Hey guys, so yeah, forgive me for talking weird because I'm very sick today. You might be wondering how sick, how ill can you possibly be? I'm like so ill that just like I don't know, pray for me or something. That's how ill I am. Anyway, well, like I was saying, um, do you think it's more or less creepy when I stare into the lens? I have no idea. Uh, anyway, so yeah, um, I want to tell you about my fantasy novel. So, as you may already know about my fantasy novel, if you've seen my videos on it, is I'm working on two of them. However, the major one that I'm working on right now is about a guy called Ganton. And so Ganton is just like a normal woodsman guy. He's like 15, which is the age when you move out of your parents' house in according to elfish tradition, because it's a fantasy novel. You can have whatever you want. Or maybe it's just like the tradition in his town. So, like, everyone, whether they're like a minotaur or a dragon or anything, that's just when they kick their kids out. Anyway, I also forgot to say, like, all the races. So, like, there's a lot of races in this. And some of them are ones that even are just normally creatures in other fantasy novels, but mine they're races because I think it makes it more cool. Like dragons and harpies and pigmen. Oh, I think we're calling them Hogan. Yeah, so Hogan, which are pigmen. Uh, minotaurs, centaurs, that type of stuff. Uh, Elves, dwarves, serpentine, which are snake people. Arachnids, which are spider people. I think I've mentioned all of them. Oh yeah, also, um, bear people. I'm not even sure what I want to call them, just like bear people. Oh yes, also merfolk. And all these races can like interbreed no matter how like, theoretically they shouldn't. It's a fantasy novel, so let's just say science does not exactly apply here. And so they can all interbreed, and so as a result, there's all kinds of weird half breeds. And another thing is like the reason why there's so many different races is because each of the races was created by like its own sort of patron god in this pantheon that I have developed. Uh, and so like yeah, as I was saying, uh, there's like a pantheon, and like like the god of fire made dragons, the god of life and death made Hogan, big people. Uh, the goddess of the sea made merfolk. The god of the tundra made the bear people. That sort of stuff. Um, and instead of dwelling in some ethereal realm, the gods of this pantheon that I've developed for my fantasy novel, they just dwell in the realm of mortals because there is no ethereal realm. It's just that they dwell in their own temples, which either they built for themselves or were built for them by the mortals, the mortal people that they create. You get the idea. And they each dwell in like the central environment, like the place, because like they each create an environment too. So like the goddess of flight who created the harpies also created like weirdo balloon plant things that float in the air and collect rainwater and junk on the wind, and like that plants developed a whole ecosystem. So there's a trillion different plants and animals, and harpies are like the dominant species of this ecosystem of floaty things. And it works like that for all the others. And so it's like their populations are highest in the environments and regions where they sort of originate from, because that is where the god who created them dwells. So like dragons, their highest population, a place where they have over 90% population because they're one of the only creatures that can really withstand the environment. It is the fire mountains Because unlike normal mountains that are all cold and snow capped, the fire mountains are like, spewing with lava all the time. And there's a whole ecosystem of weirdo plants and animals that dwell there. You know, it's a similar thing with like the sea, where really only mermaids or someone with the blessing of the goddess of the sea can go into the ocean for any extended period of time. So there's a thing with that. Or like one thing I was thinking is like all the gods and goddesses would have their own sort of unique relationships with each other. So